I never thought moving into a quiet neighborhood would become a daily test of patience. But then, there's always one person who ruins it for everyone. In my case, it was HOA Karen. It all started on a Monday morning. I had spent the weekend organizing my garage, installing shelves, and finally giving my space some order. Everything was neat. Everything was ready. I was feeling proud. Then, I noticed something off. My car wasn't where I had parked it. At first, I thought maybe I had forgotten something. But as I stepped closer, my heart sank. There it was, parked in the middle of my garage. A car that didn't belong to me. I blinked. I rubbed my eyes. Surely I was seeing things. But no, it was her. HOA Karen. Karen had a reputation. She was the type who thrived on petty control, always looking for ways to micromanage neighbors' lives. Complaints about lawn height, paint color, even what kind of flowers you planted. But this was next level. She had parked her car in my private garage without permission. I froze for a moment, trying to process the audacity. Then I marched straight to her house, determined to confront her. She answered the door with that smug expression she always wore, the kind that made it clear she thought she was untouchable. "I just needed a spot for a couple of days," she said, as if it was completely normal to take someone else's property. "My garage isn't your parking spot," I said, trying to keep calm. "You can't just park here." She shrugged. "It's fine. I won't be long." That shrug, that dismissive look, it was enough to make my blood boil. But I knew better than to let anger dictate my actions. Karen thrived on drama. She would twist things, make herself the victim. I needed to think smart. I went back to my garage, locked every door, every entrance. Only I had the key. Then I did something unexpected. I packed a bag, grabbed my essentials, and left town. 2 weeks. 2 glorious weeks away from Karen, her complaints, and her constant interference. As I drove away, I imagined her reaction. Karen jiggling the garage handle, muttering under her breath, calling the HOA office in frustration. She had no idea what she'd unleashed. I checked my security cameras remotely over the next few days. And oh, the chaos. Karen had tried everything. She banged on the doors, tried to lift the lock, honked like a madwoman, even called the HOA claiming I had illegally locked her in. The HOA thankfully saw through it. There was nothing illegal about locking your own property. Karen was furious but powerless. Meanwhile, I was sitting on a beach, soaking up the sun, sipping a drink, completely relaxed. Every notification from my security camera brought a small smirk to my face. Karen had underestimated me. Big time. Neighbors started noticing the drama. Some came over, whispering about Karen's antics. Some were amused. Others were horrified. But everyone had one thought in common. They knew Karen had been shown her place. 2 weeks later, I returned home. I decided to leave a little surprise. A note on her windshield. "Next time, ask first. My garage, my rules." It was simple, effective, and I knew she understood it perfectly. The lesson was clear. Boundaries are important. And standing your ground doesn't have to involve yelling or escalating conflict. Sometimes the best revenge is calm confidence and strategic patience. Little did Karen know. This was only the beginning. Returning home was almost too easy. The garage was intact, everything in its place. The house was quiet, peaceful. But the neighborhood had already caught wind of what had happened. Karen predictably tried to save face. She walked around as if nothing had happened, though her every move betrayed her frustration. She stared at my garage when she thought I wasn't looking. She avoided eye contact with neighbors who had witnessed her meltdown via whispers and subtle gossip. But I didn't need to confront her. The note on her windshield had already spoken volumes. Sometimes words aren't even necessary when actions make the statement loud and clear. Over the next few weeks, I realized just how powerful a simple act of boundary setting could be. The garage became more than just a storage space. It was a symbol, a reminder that respect must be mutual, that no one, not even an overbearing HOA member, could cross into my space without consequence. Neighbors started approaching me quietly, sharing their own stories of Karen's antics. I wasn't alone. And while some had tried to avoid confrontation, I realized that taking calm, decisive action could change the dynamic entirely. Karen tried again, a subtle attempt to drive past my garage to test the waters, as if she could intimidate me into backing down. But I wasn't. Calm, collected, and confident, I didn't react. I let her fume, let her try, let her fail. And fail she did, because my rules, my space were untouchable. And the beauty of it all? I didn't need drama to win. I didn't need arguments, fights, or threats. I simply needed patience, planning, and the courage to enforce my boundaries. Months later, Karen stopped entirely. She never parked near my garage again. And every time I saw her drive past, I noticed that little twitch in her eyes, the silent acknowledgement that she had lost, and there was nothing she could do about it. The neighborhood slowly returned to normal. Life resumed its quiet rhythm. My garage remained my sanctuary, and Karen, well, she learned an important lesson the hard way. Sometimes it's not about fighting someone directly. Sometimes it's about stepping away, letting them stew in their own frustration, and returning with calm confidence. Boundaries aren't just lines on the ground, they're rules for respect. And once they're clearly defined, everyone understands where they stand. 2 weeks, a locked door, and a little patience had done more than any argument ever could. It was a small victory, but a satisfying one. And every time I opened that garage door, I was reminded that respect is earned, not demanded. And Karen, she will never forget it.